Hi everybody, it's Nate Eaton from EastIdahoNews.com outside the Fremont County Courthouse. I'm just leaving a hearing that was held this morning for Chad Daybell's post-conviction relief. His three appellate attorneys from Boise were here in the courtroom along with Lindsay Blake and Rob Wood, the Fremont and Madison County attorneys. Judge Steven Boyce presided at the hearing. Chad appeared via Zoom from the prison where he's being held, the Maximum Security Prison in Boise. And this hearing was his attorney's request for more time to file their post-conviction relief. A lot of words there. Post-conviction relief, basically you're asking the court to look at your trial, to look at your case, to dismiss some parts of it, to find issues that you may have had with ineffective assistance of counsel, to look at the sentence, to basically go through it all and throw it out or change the sentence or change the guilty verdict or whatever. That's what happens in Idaho during death penalty cases before the appellate process technically begins. So in Idaho, defendants on death row, death penalty defendants, have 42 days to file their motion for post-conviction relief. Then the whole issue with post-conviction must be resolved within 90 days. So Chad's three new attorneys had until October 15th, not just them, but also Lindsay Blake and Judge Boyce. All of this would have had to be wrapped up by October 15th. Well, you know, if you follow this case, that there's a massive amount of evidence. There's so much discovery. There's 17,000 pages of transcripts from the trial and the other hearings. Chad's attorney, Mr. Thomson, quoted or said that there's I believe it was 13,000 gigabytes of data, which is equal to 18,000 CDs. And these attorneys have been working with Chad. They're brand new attorneys from the Idaho Public Defender's Office, Appellate Defender's Office. They've been working with Chad for less than 3 months. So they have so much to do. On top of that, they're handling 7 other capital cases in Idaho, death penalty cases. And so they made the argument that there are extraordinary circumstances in this case that they need more time. And they have to go through all of this in order to effectively serve their client, who constitutionally has the right to effective counsel. And Mr. Thomson told Judge Boyce that if you're not able to grant this, then we cannot effectively serve our client. Now, Lindsay Blake, she didn't really argue the point. She said, there is a lot. She obviously lived through this trial and all of the other hearings and whatnot, and she agreed that there is a lot and that more time could be granted to them, but she did say it shouldn't be indefinite. It shouldn't be 10 years or 5 years or whatever. And the judge granted the motion. So now what happens is the Supreme Court of Idaho has to sign off on it, has to agree that, okay, you're right, you should be given more time, there are extraordinary circumstances. Then Judge Boyce will hold a scheduling conference where they will decide the next steps. Realistically, it could be 18 months to 2 years, I would imagine, maybe 3 years, 2 years, before that new petition is filed by Chad's attorneys. The state, well, in this case now, the defense, because it's Lindsay Blake and Rob Wood, they will then respond to that. And there could be an evidentiary hearing if the judge finds that, okay, yeah, there were some issues maybe with ineffective assistance of counsel. Expert witnesses could be called. John Pryor could be called, who was his attorney during the trial. It could be lengthy as far as the time from now. So the judge granted the motion. The Supreme Court will now decide. I don't think anyone really expects the Supreme Court to reject it. That would be quite a hearing if that did happen, or quite a decision. I should note that we did request to have a camera in the courtroom, and the judge denied it. No reason given as far as video camera, no still camera, and it was not televised on his YouTube channel. And I think there were maybe less than 5 of us in the courtroom today. Granted, appellates, I'll be honest, this is the first kind of appeal case that I've covered after the fact, where going to the actual hearings, and they will be few and far between now. So the next step is that there'll be a scheduling conference scheduled where the judge will lay out what happens from here. So that's what happened today in court. and we will wait and see what the Supreme Court decides. I'll put up a whole write-up about some of the quotes from today. We've also requested the audio from the hearing. Once we get that, if you want to listen to it, it was very procedural. Chad Daybell did not say anything. He was not here in person. He was on Zoom from the prison, as I mentioned. He didn't say anything. He was seated next to someone from the public defender's office, and there were some guards behind him. Obviously, he's in prison. And that's what happened here in the courtroom. So keeping you up to date on that case as it continues to move forward. Reporting in Fremont County, I'm Nate Eaton, EastIdahoNews.com.